Good evening, all doctors, students, and people who are watching us live. Thank you so much for joining us again. Today, this is a very important session. Uh, as far as we all know that cannabis and medical cannabis industry is growing in our country now. Recently, we have seen that United Nations have also changed the category of these particular medicines, and they consider this as a bit less risky now as compared to other medicines are concerned. And 27 countries have voted in favor. We will understand more today in the session as well. So now, and as far as the patients are also concerned, we have seen so many patients are getting benefited, and India and other countries are also, many countries are also right now in favor as far as growing this particular domain, that is medical cannabis. And we are very much lucky and pleased and honored to have today Mr. Anav Jain. He is the founder director of World of Hemp Global Private Limited and owner of the brand Total Heal. He is one of the person who has started his journey when exactly the medical cannabis domain started in India, and he has matured enough from the journey. He is involved in so many committees of regulatory bodies. He has watched and supervised closely of growing this domain in our country, and he is right now running his own company as well. Also, he is an regulatory expert and he's having an excellent knowledge as far as the regulatory aspects of medical cannabis is concerned. So indianvedyas.com is very much happy and pleased to have him. We already had one session on medical cannabis in which we invited him as a speaker and he delivered his talk, and many audience and many participants has requested us to ask him again to give us more time, and now he is associated with us, and on weekly basis we will have several sessions with him, and also his group of clinicians and doctors who are practicing medical cannabis. We will have them as well. We will ask and we will request enough to bring them as well, so that we all can learn and grow together in terms of medical cannabis practice is concerned. So thank you so much, Anav, for joining us today. We welcome you on our platform, and we are very much interested and we are looking forward to have some insight from you as far as there are so many confusions, there are so many queries as far as medical cannabis regulations are concerned, predominantly with respect to the manufacturers, with respect to the practitioners, and with respect to the patients. So today we are hoping that you will clarify and you will explain all these confusions and queries. There are so many queries in terms of people traveling across the world, how they can carry and how they can take it forward. So let's hear from you about this, and let's have a talk from your end on this particular aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Juneja, for having me here. And it's quite an honor to be part of your platform, which is doing a tremendous effort in the medical cannabis industry in India by engaging a lot of companies, by doing having knowledge sharing sessions with the right amount of people, getting all the doctors educated, getting the patients educated in terms of what's the best that the need to be taken. We definitely understand this particular industry is very new, and we are very far behind when we talk about the global market. But I would say yes, India is soon catching up. And with this, I would like to start with my introduction. I'm Anav Jain. I'm the founder director of World of Hemp, and I'm running a company which is a 2-year-old startup, I would say. And we are purely based into high value medicinal plants. And out of that, one is medical cannabis. or which is alternatively called as bhang in India, or Vijaya in Sanskrit, or Indian hemp in Indian English terminology. So this particular company is more like a canoceutical company where we are just focusing on making right type of pharmaceutical products, which like your capsules, tablets, your liquids, tinctures, your soft gels, hard gels, your wellness products like your topicals, made out of various compounds of medical cannabis plant. And the overall objective of the company is to do a large scale manufacturing, because we do understand that markets like India, it's more like the supply creates a demand here. So when I was running the company, when we started the entire objective of the company 2 year back, we were more like an e-commerce marketplace which came out in the market, where we were running the platform for 6 months, where we were trying to get whatever little brands were there in the market on our platform, doing some sort of a deep integration by having right customers and reviewing the customer, what sort of people are coming and buying the products, what categories of products India has, how much products we are importing. And when we were running the e-commerce marketplace, it was more like of all sorts of categories of product, like your textile, your wellness products, your edibles, your medicinal products. But then sooner we realized that it is too early for us to have a dedicated e-commerce marketplace for hemp or cannabis per se in India, because of lack of brands, lack of products, lack of manufacturing capabilities. So then we diversified our entire line of business, and then we entered into the manufacturing space, understanding the overall dynamics of the domestic market. And then we started off with multiple products, textiles, your edibles, your medicinal. And finally, approximately 1.5 years back, we chose medical cannabis to be our prime focus area. And that's how we started with our entire journey. And it took us approximately 1 year to have our own manufacturing facility and our manufacturing base ready for the right categories of products. Because I do understand there are a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of young entrepreneurs who would want to get into the medical cannabis space, because it's quite exciting. They have seen the Western market grow, where people have traveled, they have studied abroad. So similarly, they like the entrepreneurship mindset that people have, every other person in the country has. They're like, let's do something in India, let's bring in something in India. And that's how a lot of people are coming into this space. But I would say that people need to understand that they are getting into a field, or they're making a product, or they're giving a service which is going to be consumed by the people. So I would request people that they would do their homework properly, get proper thorough information from the right agencies in whatever aspects they are working, and then they choose their field where they want to have their entrepreneurship journey. And so exactly 1.5 years back, we chose this particular objective of the company to manufacture large-scale medical cannabis products. And then we started tying up with international companies, getting their researches, their trials in our for our own domestic market, creating products, creating samples, getting all the testings done. And that's how we recently came out with our own brand also in the market. And mainly that's the current objective of the company in terms of manufacturing large scale products for both domestic and international markets. And additionally, do some sort of a deep integration for the local markets by giving the right knowledge to our doctors, how safely they can use these products, and giving confidence to the patients by having a lot of testimonies and sharing a lot of trial experiences with them in terms of how this particular product or these categories of products are safer and better alternatives to the current system of medicines, or where our current system of medicines can be also enhanced with these types of products. So that's a basic summary, I would say, of my company. And today, as Dr. Juneja has advised, that we're going to talk on regulatory aspect of medical cannabis, both for the domestic market and the international market. So that's going to be our main interest areas, where you can also bring in a lot of questions, where you find and you have any sorts of doubts, or you want any more clarities. So I would want to start with talking about what exactly is the current situation in India, how medical cannabis is perceived here. So medical cannabis, bhang, Vijaya, or Indian hemp, they fall under the category of Ayurveda. So let's talk about the basic fundamentals. In India, we have two types of medicine systems. One is your English medicine system, which is allopathy. The other one is your Indian system of medicines, which is your Ayurveda, homeopathy, Unani, Siddha. So traditionally, if you look at the cultural history, Bhang, Vijaya, or Indian hemp is part of Ayurveda and it's been there for thousands of years. There are classical formulations, which is a precedent for any formulation which is available in the market. Then there are certain proprietary formulations that most of the companies have adopted from the international developed medical cannabis market. So traditionally, it will just fall under the category of Ayurveda because this particular herb or this particular plant is classified there. And today, when we talk about the text which is available in the Ayurvedic books, which has been approved by Drug Cosmetic Act, although 54 books have approximately 193 classical formulations, including your oral consumption ones and your topicals. And then there are few companies in India which have come out with the proprietary formulations in the form of tinctures or liquids and a few topicals, which has been clearly adopted from the international market. So first base is that these products are identified in the category of Ayurveda, which is obviously taken up by Ministry of Ayush, and there are state Ayush departments where these licenses can be procured, provided you follow all the prerequisites and the qualification as per their checklist. When we talk about the basic structuring of these categories of products in India, federally it's been approved because when you talk, since it's already evident in Ayurveda, it's clearly visible there, and the classical formulations are also clearly mentioned there. And then the other provisions or the other statutes from where you are ideally supposed to procure your raw materials, like your NDPS Act or your state excise acts. So over there also, like you have to follow series of your procedures to get those permits licenses, and you can easily get the raw material once you have your manufacturing license, and then you can make the drugs as per your approved formulations, and you can come out in the market. So fundamentally, federally, it is easily acceptable, but it is a discretion of the state how they want to look at it. There are few states who are not allowing any new licenses. They want to have the firm some sort of an experience before they are able to give license in these categories of product manufacturing, because they fall under the Schedule E1. And uh, and then there are few states which has given licenses, and as per our my current knowledge, there are six licenses which is given in India so far. And these licenses are primarily given to the companies who have done some sort of substantial research and have some substantial knowledge in understanding the safety of this entire manufacturing processes and the formulations that they're coming out with. So if anybody who is actually looking to be a part of this medical cannabis manufacturing, obviously they'll have to look into primarily two departments in their own states. One is your state drug cell, Ayurveda, and the other one is your state excise. And right now, majorly the brands or the companies which are there in India so far are primarily working in that particular space. And there are few companies, there are few big pharma companies who are getting their certain formulations approved through DGCI, and obviously that's going to take a lot of time. But one more concern is there that a lot of people are able to understand the legalities and the laws and the procedures, but primarily most of them are not able to follow it for God knows whatever reasons, and that's the only apprehension the government has, because the government is very well receptive of the overall idea that these types of medicine should be there in India, because obviously all the international companies, like there are 46 companies in the world so far which has legalized medical cannabis usage for a lot of serious chronic diseases. And India is obviously lacking, or India is very slow in that particular space, because the government has an apprehension that people will misuse it. They will not follow the procedures properly, even if the guidelines are being laid correctly. So they are very skeptical, and that's the current status also when the government says that there's a committee which has been formed during the COVID. And that time also the government says that we have given six licenses just to see a pilot response in the country, and we see there are more than 20-25 odd brands available, and people are importing certain type of medical cannabis products internationally without proper procedures, and they're just selling it off. So like this, like all the companies who are part of this trade, or even for that matter the doctors who are prescribing products or the patients who are taking it, so they have to be super conscious in terms of their efforts, what they are doing, and what sort of activities these people are dealing, and we have to collectively come out and support each other and guide each other with all of this, because the overall idea of any company or any doctor as a practitioner or any patient is to have a clean result from the overall benefit of this particular plant. Because on the other hand, when there is a lot of activism which is happening by a lot of people at cannabis advocates or medicine advocates, who are talking good things about these plants and the overall benefits of these plants, then their efforts become zero when such irregular practices are seen in the public domain, which the obviously is against the law, and the government is very strict about this, and even they are also very hesitant in terms of announcing easy business policies for startups. So that's a sincere request from my side for the people to look into this thing. And when you talk about the regulations in India, I mean, it's very clear and it's very straightforward in terms of following the right procedures of two departments, and any person in any state can get into this, and having a conscious mindset in terms of what right sort of products they are supposed to bring for the overall benefit of the public, provided they have done certain researches, certain trials, where they are sure that these medications are going to support those ailments or diseases and help those patients. That is very important. I do understand the infrastructure in India is very poor, or very poor would be the right word right now for medical cannabis. But yes, it is a slow process, but our collective effort will obviously make a lot of difference. And obviously, us as a startups would require a lot of support of the doctors to guide us in terms of all the trials, clinical trials, human trials, animal trials, and to make the products of the highest and the purest quality, because their effort will play a huge fundamental role in getting the right medicines to available to the right patients.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anav, for this insightful talk. Also, one more aspect which we need to discuss here, and there is an important and significant amount of people keep on discussing. As far as the international scenario is concerned, we have so many patients right now. After this lockdown, also we have seen people are now coming up again, and after some time they are planning to go back as well, and they also will be traveling. So as far as the international scenario is concerned, for example, we understand as far as US, Canada, they have some structure in terms of the regulations. So kindly guide us and let us know as far as the international aspects are concerned, which countries are in maybe favor or are having some structured regulations as far as medical cannabis is concerned, and where it is still a challenge. For example, we understand there are certain countries in Middle East, there is a still challenge as far as these category of medicines are concerned. So maybe you can help us, and we have certain queries in that session also. Initially, when we had all of you from the industry, the several doctors asked this and raised this concern, that as far as the international regulations are concerned, so many times patient need to travel also, or they are getting many doctors are getting international consultations as well. So can we ship these products to international patients or not, or they can carry with themselves with their prescription? And what exactly is the status right now in several countries? If you can brief on that particular aspect to all of us.
Okay, so there are 46 countries in the world right now which has legalized medical cannabis, and a lot of regular trials and R&Ds are happening there in terms of the right formulations for the right specific diseases. So when we talk about knowing or understanding the precedent of the best country, I would say Canada is the right example in front of us, which has opened this entire game changer of having medical cannabis in all over the world, because for past approximately since 2002 onwards, like this particular industry has been very active there, and obviously there are a lot of amendments and policy changes. But now I would say Canada is the only country which has their Cannabis Act, and additionally they have their Industrial Hemp Regulations Act as well. So like this, second would be obviously the US. US Obviously, if, on federal level, on state level, it's been legalized, but there are different policy changes which are happening on the federal level now, and which is being followed subsequently by your many countries from Europe and Australia. New Zealanders also have been conducting a lot of medical cannabis researches now, and they have come out with a pilot trial study also in the capital of Australia, the capital territory of Australia. Then, when we talk about Asia, obviously Thailand last year itself they announced a huge relaxing policy for a lot of people to come out and participate in the medical cannabis industry. And when we talk about one interesting thing is the best example I would want to look at is Germany, because Germany happens to be the gateway of medical cannabis for the entire European market. And it is so clean and clear in the international markets that any regulatory department or bodies, they would want to scrutinize the companies who are participating by their efforts, by their authenticity, by the values that they're bringing, by the visions or the agendas that they have. And like Germany, what they have done is they have come out as a public tender. So anybody who is willing to be participant in this particular industry by for the means of cultivation or any processing or manufacturing of pharmaceutical product, they have to participate in the public tenders and give out the right the series of documentation and paper trails in terms of their efforts, how they want to come out and do their entire project. So like this, I would say for India to look at the right example is obviously countries from Europe and UK for that matter, where why I'm talking about these two areas, because medical cannabis, the amount of research that these countries are doing is comparatively very different. Obviously, it's a slow process because any medicinal cannabis drugs cannot be made in a day or a month or 2 months or 6 months. It will take a lot of time because it has to go through a series of trials, series of testing, and the way these countries are following that up, and for that matter, Israel also. Like we are dealing with a lot of international companies now. We are a licensed exporter also, and that's how we understand how these companies and how the different countries' policies are working. So in Israel also, it's like first you have to make your own drug, you have to make the right formulations, get them tested, follow all the procedural norms of that particular region, get the product registered under the right authorities, then get into manufacturing. So that's how every country should look into that. And when we talk about the patients who are traveling, any patient can travel to Europe or Australia and
Hello. I think there is some network connectivity, so let's wait and maybe he will be joining again. Yes, yes, please continue.
Yeah, sorry. So when we talk about the patients who are traveling, so it's a prescription-based medicine. So from the countries from where they're traveling, from where they're departing, so they need to have a prescription, and they have to look at the country they're arriving. If it's a legalized in a sector over there, obviously they will not have no problem. Because recently, right before the lockdown, there was a patient based out of London, and she was traveling to Arab country, and because in Arab it's not legal per se, so she had a major problem and she had to return back. And because she had to go through a lot of scrutiny also, since she had proper medicines and the authorities were able to talk to her doctors in terms of the problem that she had and how long she has been taking that particular medicine, and it is more like a necessity for her. But ultimately, the laws in Arabs are not clear yet because it's not a legalized industry there. So they had to send her back. So any patient can take it, and any patient can get from international market also, provided when they are getting from the international market on a prescription base, there is a form that they have to fill. It's I think it's form number 12. Cedesco Act has that particular form. They have to fill it. They have to get the approvals, and then once they have the approval, they'll get the custom clearance, provided it's just for a single use or single medicine, not a commercial consignment which is coming in.
Right, and there is one question, and I will ask, I will request all the people who are listening to us right now, feel free to post your queries. We already receiving some queries in our message box and social media also. So now there is one question from Dr. Amit. So as far as doctors are concerned, I understand this is being labeled and licensed as an Ayurvedic proprietary medicine, or some classical medicines are also there. So, is there any specific license, or is there any additional documentation any doctor need to procure and need to have before they start dispensing CBD oil and other medical cannabis products from their clinics?
So when we talk about any medical cannabis products, primarily the Indian hemp extract is available in the market. So right now, doctors per se, they do not need to have a predefined documentation to have in their clinic to dispense these medicines right now. It's just that if they have their own pharmacy, then obviously they need to have a pharmacist license, and they just need to sell a licensed product. Any unlicensed product coming through doctors' prescription will be a difficulty in future for both the brand of who's selling that product and for the doctor who's practicing that. But when it comes to any doctor, like any other medicine that's been prescribed by the doctors, allopathy or any Ayurveda medicines, or like there is no documentation required for that also. So similarly, here also there is no proper defined documentation that's being shared by the government that the practitioners need to have it. So that is not there as of now, or maybe I can say that's not clear as of now because there is no notification per se.
Right, and there is one more question. As far as Dr. Rajni is asking, I think now you can clarify, and we need to understand what exactly the various forms of products you people have. So she's asking that in which diseases. So I, as a clinician, also can add on maybe after your answer. And we understand that there are two major categories: full spectrum and broad spectrum. And she also needs to understand what form you people are manufacturing. So is it a tablet or is it an oil? And maybe right now I understand there are oils, uh, but maybe in future if you intend to start with some tablets also, and how it is different if your knowledge is there in terms of dispensing. But we understand as a clinician, and I have read and being practicing from last few months now to more than 1,000 patients, CBD oil absorbed sublingually is one of the best form as far as dosage is concerned. So maybe you can just have some more insights and inputs, and also you can maybe, if possible for you right now, you can display whatever the products you people have. And I request all the people who are listening to us right now, you can quickly send us your mobile number and email ID. So what we'll do is we will connect uh, directly to the company. Indian Vadyas do not charge any commission. We don't have that model. So you can directly get associated with World of Hemp Global Private Limited and Anav and his team, and you can start procuring the products and dispensing it to patients. They have various models. You can procure physically in your clinics, or you can connect patients to them as well. Sona, maybe you can answer this question in the form of maybe mentioning about your products and throw some insight that what exactly is the difference between full spectrum and broad spectrum. And if you have nearby your products, I would like you to show to the people who are listening to you right now so that they can get some idea as well.
Definitely. So right now, when we talk about what we are manufacturing the liquids, which is your tincture oils, the dropper oil bottles, and additionally, we'll be coming out with certain formulations of tablets and capsules. And we are targeting first quarter of January. We'll be coming out with a few pain management topicals like your wellness creams. So currently we have a brand name by the name of Total Key.
It's nine
And
o'clock.
we have two types of products there, two SKUs, I would say. One is your full spectrum and broad spectrum. Full spectrum has both the popular compounds, which is known by people, THC, CBD, and it has terpenes also in it. And there's full spectrum has various ratios of THC and CBD, and broad spectrum is pure CBD. So there is no psychoactive compound available there. It is 100% non-psychoactive. So this is the product that we have. It's the broad spectrum tincture bottle of 30 ml, and this one is 1000 mg if it's clear to you. And this one is full spectrum 30 ml, again 1000 mg. So full spectrum is the one which has your THC CBD in different ratios, and your broad spectrum is the one which has pure CBD. And for the doctors, we have created one doctor's clinic clinic kit where there's a kit of 48 pieces display kit where which doctor can keep in their clinics to dispense the medicine directly to the patients whenever any walk-in patient is coming in. So these are the products, and the areas where these products are primarily used is your for the broad spectrum, I would say your pains or inflammations which is there in the body, your basic viral infections like your cough, flu, cold, then your mental conditions like anxiety, depression, or autism, then your PTSD, then your for skin diseases like acne is there, hair loss is there, itching is there, then your dental pains are there, then your seizure, epilepsy, alcohol dependence, arthritis, so like the thyroid condition. So for such problems, such ailments, broad spectrum is used. And when we talk about the full spectrum, it's primarily used for cancers, patients who are going through chemos and there's some radiation effects in the bodies, like your vomiting, nausea, appetite loss, fatigue, and any autoimmune diseases which are there. The depression is there, like PTSD is there, or emotional eating disorders, or your lung diseases like asthma or TB. So like these fever, libido, and like these are the problems where full spectrum is primarily used. So these are the two variants that currently we have in the market, and this is something we launched approximately a month back on Diwali only. And since our main objective of the company was B2B manufacturing, we never thought of coming out with our own brand. But during the COVID time, a lot of patients did not have access to the right medications. So we started supplying them the medicines, and since we had access to delivering it all over India, so that's how like a lot of doctors and patients, when they started consuming our products, and when they compared it with the existing products which were available in the market, so they only asked us to come out with their own brand, so that like they felt better in terms of having their interaction experience with us and by using the products directly. So because of the quality, I would say. So that's how we came out with our own brand in the market.
Right, thank you so much. And also, maybe you can explain. We already getting some details of some doctors. They are sharing their numbers and email IDs. So thank you so much for that. We will be definitely connecting you with the World of M Global Private Limited as well. However, Anav, I need to understand, and in fact, all the doctors and people who are listening to you, quickly you can brief all of them about your associating models. I think there are two, three models in which people can get associated with you. So how we can take it forward in terms of associating? Is that all the doctors need to procure the products in their clinic, or is there any online association, or they can just connect the patients with you? And I think prescription is mandatory in all the models. So maybe you can just briefly touch upon on those aspects as well.
So when we talk about any sort of model for the doctors, primarily there is a prescription format which will be given to the doctor first. It's not provided needed that the doctors have to follow the same format. I mean, they have to make sure that the information which is available on that particular template is there on their prescription also. So like there has to be a proper record of the prescription that's been shared with us as well as in their own record book. And when we talk about the models, there are two ways that we are working. One is by providing them the doctor's display kit, which is easily accessible when any walking patient is there. Second, we are vamping a website, and currently people can directly approach us through our website and our mobile till the time our website is gonna get live. So on that, they can just come online and call us or email us with their prescriptions, and we'll deliver the products directly to them. And for doctors, is primarily the doctors' clinic kit and like the referrals engagement that will happen through the online platform. Because as and when we are going to engage more doctors, we're going to create a portal on the website where for the doctors also, that they can take up any sort of consultation provided. Like obviously, it's going to be disease specific consultation happening. So that's going to be for different categories of doctor who will be participating with us.
Right, and we have received this one question from Dr. AK Sharma on our messenger box. So he wants to ask that as far as the dosage is concerned, although we understand it will be as per the clinician, still from your point as far as the manufacturer, and you know the potency and the quantity which you are putting in, and I think there is another variant. And by the way, I want to take this opportunity today and reveal this aspect as well, that being among very few, and maybe I feel lucky to practice, because I have seen tremendous healing in terms of people suffering from lots of pains, as Anna mentioned about the various type of cancers, chemotherapy side effects, various kind of pains, and certain psychiatric disorders, and certain issues regarding the chronic issues regarding the skin dialysis system. We have seen, and with due respect to all other brands, many are doing good, but quality of World of Hemp Global Private Limited products and the brand that is Total Heal is excellent, and we have started in several patients, and we are getting very good feedback, and we are using in our clinic as well. So thank you so much, Anna, for this, and I think you people have maintained a good quality, which definitely through us will be benefited and will be beneficial for the patients. So I think there are two variants, that is 1000 and 3000, and so as per the potency, and what is your suggestion as far as the dosage, because dosage is very important. Although as a clinician we should understand various aspects in terms of body weight, age, indication, and all, still we need to understand, and as you people have developed these products, so maybe you have some guidelines and some understanding which we can take it forward in terms of the dosage of both variants. Maybe you can clarify. Also, I want to understand on the note, on the same note, that why 300 3000 mg variant if we have 1000 mg variant as well. So maybe you can just answer both questions.
So, just to start with the dosage, dosage is a very subjective question because it completely depends upon body to body and disease, like the problem that the patient is having. So, there is a dosage chart that we have made, and the doctors who are already there on board, we share with them how they are ideally supposed to calculate the dosage, because it completely depends upon the age and the weight of that particular patient and the current problem and the intensity of the problem that the patient is going through. If you talk about any pain, so how severe is the pain? Is it bearable? Is it not bearable? So it is very, very subjective. Like there is no standard protocol of any dosage for any particular patient or any particular disease. It is something that doctors are
Hello, your voice is a bit breaking enough. Maybe you can reconnect again. I think there is some issue with your network, so we are not able to hear you properly. So just to continue with the answer as far as the dosage, as per our experience, let me uh,
hello.
yes, now better. Yeah, please continue.
So, dosage, as I said, is very subjective, and it completely depends upon the patient to patient and the disease that the patient is having. Obviously, we have a dosage calculator and dosage chart that we do share with our doctors, and through on that basis, they can calculate the right dosage for the patient depending upon the problem that they have. Because to calculate the dosage, the age and the weight plays a very important factor of the patient. So when we talk about the variants, we have two variants of both full spectrum and broad spectrum. One is a 1000 mg, the other one is a 3000 mg. So 1000 and 3000 mg is the CBD content in the entire bottle of 30 ml. So you can easily calculate it like 1000 mg divided by the 29 ml of the MCT oil, the coconut oil. So why we have taken up 3000? Because there are certain diseases, certain ailments like your cancers or your pains, which are very severe. When patients have to take approximately half an ml or 1 ml in one day. So for them, like that's the ideal size of the variant that is suggestive, so that they are able to consume it for a month straight. So if they take it up to 1000 mg one, obviously that's gonna get over in what 10 to 15 days. So just for them to have a proper daily dosage of 30 days, so that's why that particular bottle is being created for those patients, and if you, to be economical for them as well.
Right, right. Thank you so much. And there is one more question from Dr. Shivika. She wants to ask that as far as, again, as a clinician, we recommend to be cautious. In fact, two questions. One question is from Dr. Shomit. Dr. Shomit is also asking. So let me just first take the Dr. Shivika question. So she wants to ask, as far as the pregnancy is concerned, is it safe we can give that, or is it not indicated?
Right now, we do say that it's not suggestive for the patients who are under the influence of alcohol and who are the women who are pregnant. Because to be very honest, us as a manufacturer, we haven't received the right data where we can take care in that particular problem, because that time the body is anyway way too sensitive, because there's a lot of changes happening on a daily basis. So to like on a to be on a safer side, we would request the patient or request the doctors also not to prescribe these medicines in those two aspects. One is your under the influence of alcohol, the other one is your pregnancy.
And Dr. Shomit is asking a very good question. In fact, this is a very valid question. As per the age, I think 21 is the age in which, like 21 and above, we can give. But we have seen in many uh, kids and teenagers
Yeah.
problems like autism, problems like epilepsy. It is very effective. So on one side, 21 and above age group is legally like qualified to take these kind of products. How we need to take it forward in terms of the adolescent and children population?
So now the thing is, there is no written text or notification where it says that it can be consumed by the patient who is in the age of 21 above. There are a lot of patients who have come to us. There are a lot of pediatric neurologists who are working in hospitals. And obviously, I can take the names who are prescribing these medicines, and patients who are age of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Kids are taking it up, and it's required for them. They're having seizures, they're having epilepsy, they have some or the other problem, they have brain cancer. So all these patients are do taking it. Obviously, it has to be under medical supervision, but there is no
Right. So as we understood that there is no written communication in terms of the age aspect is concerned. So Dr. Neelam, she is from US, so she wants to clarify. So you mean that whoever is drinking alcohol is not safe for them, right?
no, who is drinking alcohol and taking it in that moment is obviously not suggestive. Obviously, it is being used for the patients who are alcohol dependent, just to cure that problem. Obviously, it's been taken up by those patients, but not in that particular moment when you're consuming the alcohol. So any medicine is not suggested to be taken when consuming the alcohol.
Right, right. And as far as other narcotics drugs are concerned and other category of drugs are concerned, do we have any data, or do you people have any experience that these are fine, or we need to have some inhibitions in that aspect as well?
Like I didn't understand the question. Fine in what capacity?
Like for example, opioid derivatives or any other morphine derivatives, or sometimes those kind of medicines we need to practice. So along with that, is it fine we can administer CBD products, CBD medicines
No,
as well?
no. The thing is, any narcotic ingredient medicine, obviously there is a safety data which is safety So I'm saying with any ingredient, narcotic ingredient, there is a safety study that needs to be conducted, and that's need to be shared with the doctors as well, in terms of how and when is the right time to use this particular product and in what capacity that can be taken up. So the when I say that the manufacturers of the company who are in part of this particular trade, so when they're procuring their license and when they're getting the formulations approved, the drug controller of that particular state will take all the necessary steps in terms of identifying the entire formulation and the ingredients, the overall quantity that's been used, so that it is not creating any other effect on the body and not being misused as well. So obviously, that's when we have to create a safety study, and that's what is shared with the doctor as well, and as well as the drug controllers.
There is one more aspect, Anav. I think we have few minutes available as per our slot, and thank you so much again to all the doctors and people who are posting regular questions. And we will definitely continue on weekly basis as far as Anav and his knowledge is concerned. And we will rope in certain other people who have like who are associated with him. Just quickly, maybe we can have a standalone session on various type of cancers, because it is a very exhaustive topic, and we will definitely request you, and maybe you can request other doctors and people who are associated with you, who are using your products and getting good results right now. Maybe quickly you can just share some experiences. So there are two three aspects which I want to elaborate by asking this question. Dr. Hamid has just simply asked, but my elaboration will be, so there are cases in which already chemotherapy is going on or radiotherapy is going on, and there are so many side effects. Sometimes we have seen in the starting, maybe people are also taking it and getting good results in international domain also, not that much, but some primitive studies are there. And third aspect is uh, in the final aspect of when the cancer is not there, but many people are taking so that it will not recur, or it will not have like any other representation in the body. So in these three scenarios, maybe you can just quickly let us know how CBD oils, and what is your experience and your journey till now.
So I would like to take this particular opportunity to share one more thing. We are coming out with a session by the name of Indian Hemp Weekly. So this particular session is going to be started from 2nd of January. So every week we are doing one session where we are getting doctors who are part of our team now, and with them it's going to be me, them, and we have partnered with the pharmacists from Ministry of Health Canada. So it's going to be a tri-party webinar, I would say, where these doctors are discussing about certain diseases, and they have whatever limitations or problems they are facing in terms of giving the right dosage to the people or treating the patients with medical cannabis. They will have experts in those specific fields to get the second opinion and have all the researches and all the factual informations. So the Indian Hemp Weekly will be starting from 2nd of January onwards, and all the, like, I would request through your platform also, like, all the doctors to come and talk about and ask any random questions that they would want to have for particular diseases, because over there our Indian practitioners as well as our international practitioners from Ministry of Health Canada will be there to guide you in a proper manner, and like probably they'll convince you with whatever queries you have. So I would request like to just wait for that, because that would be the right session for these doctors to have more interaction and have a detailed knowledge. Because if I share those things right now, then those sessions will have a lesser impact.
So when it will be like, where it will be, any link or anything?
We're gonna share the links, and I'll share it with you so that you can share with your audience also. And 2nd January onwards, we're gonna start, and every week we'll be having different doctors who have already practiced medical cannabis in different ailments, and we have 17 doctors so far who have taken up our products particularly as well, and they have seen all the trials and results. And there are a lot of senior doctors also, and a lot of big hospitals also who have taken up our products for their own trials. So like this, there will be a good information on those medical technical sense, I would say.
Great, great. Thank you so much. I think Dr. Jaspreet, the name is Mr. Arnav Jain, and he is the founder and director of World of Hemp Global Private Limited. And Arnav, I also request maybe you can quickly, if you can, share your email ID with all the participants today, so that they can maybe post you any query they have, and accordingly, like they can connect directly with you as well.
Definitely. So anybody who is looking for our email ID, it's very simple. It's worldofhemp.global@gmail.com. I'll repeat again. It's worldofhemp, HEMP, hemp.global@gmail.com.
Right. So we have shared the email ID as well, and maybe you can directly connect with them in terms of any further query. We already received several contact details of several doctors. We will definitely sharing this with the company, and Anav and his team will be in touch with you, and they will guide you how to take it forward. And thank you so much for joining us today. We will have specific sessions and specific discussions moving forward every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. We will have World of Ham Global Private Limited, Anav, and other people who will be representing the company and working in any capacity. We can have certain clinicians also in future who are working closely with Anav and his company. So let's take it forward now. And it is a very crucial time right now. I request all of you, 2021 is just approaching. Day after tomorrow, we all will be celebrating the new year. And in this new year, let's have this mindset that, see, ultimately, end of the day, any doctor, any practitioner should understand and should focus and work towards healing the sufferings and pain of all the patients. And we have seen personally in 2020, although due to this COVID lockdown and all, still we are able to heal more than 1,000 patients. And we have seen, and by the way, due to this lockdown and this uh, tremendous setback for many businesses and many domains, people are very much mentally exhausted, and they are in a very bad situation in terms of the mental health. So these kind of medicines, products, and solutions are very effective in handling all these problems. And we have seen tremendous healings without any side effect, as these are all the herbal preparations. However, on the same note, we have to be cautious while administering. We have to update ourselves. So Indian Vadyas is intent to share all the knowledge, all the expertise. People like Anav who have devoted their life to this particular industry, that is medical cannabis. So we'll be bringing up more and more sessions and more talk and interactive discussions. And we request all of you to go through this particular video again if you have joined late. And thank you so much again. We are just the queries are pouring in and the contact details are also here, so we will be sharing all these details with them. So maybe you can again watch the video. This was an excellent session in terms of the domestic and international regulatory aspects were concerned. This was just an introduction today. We will have some detailed discussions in future as well, in terms of various aspects, on the processing, how the products are being developed, what are the various quality standards which are there, various certifications, what exactly a doctor need to check maybe whenever they are having products. So now, as Anas said, that this industry will be growing, so there will be multiple brands and multiple companies offering you several products, but as a clinician you can get confused. So what are the aspects we need to check? And Anna, we request you to maybe prepare some good presentation and some good interesting session on this as well, that what are the various aspects a person needs to understand in terms of the quality, in terms of as a clinician how, because see what happens is we receive these nicely packed bottles. All these companies are doing good in terms of packaging is concerned, but what exactly inside, we can't say unless or until either we are getting the experience. But sometimes it is very challenging, so there has to be some checklist or some parameters that okay, these are the aspects you need to ask to any company whenever you are starting getting associated or referring any patient to them. So these are very important aspects. And yes, definitely the training, as you people are connected internationally, so maybe more and more international experts you can rope into our platform as well, and we can listen to them and have some good knowledge, and all our associated doctors can evolve in terms of the knowledge is concerned. So thank you so much again for joining us today. Thanks to all the doctors for roping in, and have a great new year ahead. To all of you, a very happy new year. We will meet again in the new year next Wednesday, same time. And definitely, we are looking forward to a long term association. And we believe together we can build a strong community. And ultimately, end of the day, the patients and people who are suffering from various issues will be getting benefited. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the platform. And obviously, as you rightly said, and every week we'll be coming out with more detailed topics where we are doing a lot of sessions for the doctors and as well as for the patients in terms of the quality checks and the checklist that they need to have to procure any product, both for the doctors and for the patients, and for that matter, to recommend any brand or any product which is right for certain diseases. And definitely, any doctor, any patient who is looking to have more knowledge on particular topic, they can let us know, and we'll definitely prepare ourselves to answer as many questions as possible and create a good knowledge bank, and support as many people as possible. And thank you, Dr. Juneja, for having our products also and trying it out and knowing the actual difference what we are able to create for the market. And it would be great if you could show, like, if you the display box that we have given to you also for your clinic to the people who are there.
Yeah, actually, that is outside. We have displayed in our reception area. So I'm connected with, but don't worry, we will. I think I have a nice picture. So we'll
Hmm.
be posting soon to our platforms. And
Definitely.
you definitely have excellent quality products, which I should admit on this session today. And as we have been extensively using other like products as well. With due respect to all the brands, they are trying to maintain whatever the best quality they can. But as you have a good knowledge, and I think you have devoted your entire life into this industry, that reflects in your product. So that is a commendable effort which you are making, which we appreciate. And I am very much thankful. I can just see that still we are getting connects and contact details of so many doctors. So that is very encouraging and motivational for all of us. Being a new year, just a day before New Year Eve, still so many people are here. So thank you so much, and let's begin this journey in New Year with more positivity, with more optimism. And again, a very happy New Year to all of you. Thanks, Anna, for joining us today. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next week with many more detailed, insightful talk from you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, all the doctors, and have a very happy New Year. Thanks.
Thank you. Happy New Year.